And it was super simple idea that we want to put just a sign, bus sign, like
Uh-huh.
in the States. You remember where the school buses have this stop sign.
Yeah.
It's super simple idea. And then we went to the mayor, to the head of the transport, to the head of whatever. And we hit so many rocks and we said, okay, social entrepreneurship in Bulgaria, it will be hard.
Hey, you're listening to Innovators Can Laugh, the fun startup podcast. I'm your host, Eric Milcher. On ICL, we interview an innovative entrepreneur in the European tech startup scene every week. My goal is to have my guests share their wisdom while having a little fun in the process. Now let's dive in. Hey, Yassine, how you doing? Welcome to Innovators Can Laugh.
Hey, Eric, it's so nice to have me here and thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous because you mentioned that you're working at a nice space that's on the beach and you get to hear the ocean waves crashing through and the nice sunset and everything. Is that true?
Yeah, I was there like for a couple of months here on the beach side in Bulgaria. We have a very like a hobby business, side project that's called
Okay.
Beach Hub. And the Beach Hub is a co-working space right on the beach where we are welcoming all our friends and clients.
All right. That is so nice. And the seaside in Bulgaria is spectacular. We've gone twice now, the past 2 years for long weekends. And there's a resort that we go to. It's fantastic. The kids love it. There's like 8 different pools. It's right on the beach. It's all inclusive. I like it. It's much better than the beaches here in Constanța or in Romania, at least in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I can agree. I've been to both places. Like I've been a lot in our beach seaside, the Bulgarian seaside part, and then I've been to the Romanian as well. Like last year, we went to what was it next to Constanța, the resort.
Mamaia?
Mamaia, yeah. With my
Yeah.
wife, we spent like a couple of days there. It was also very nice. Like it's the same seaside but different feeling. And
Yeah.
we have great places here. So anytime you're here again, please call me.
Yeah, I know, definitely. Now that I know there's an office that I can work out of, I'll have to extend my stay a little bit
Oh,
longer.
absolutely. Let's do that.
Okay. Hey, first question for you, Yasin, is where did you grow up and how has that shaped your view of the world?
Well, I grew up in a small city, like right on the border between Bulgaria and Romania, actually. It's called
Okay.
Ruse on the Danube River and the Danube coast. And the interesting thing during my childhood was that I was really good student until I went to the university. When I was under the control of my parents, I was like super A plus every single time.
Yeah.
And another interesting thing is that we had a small villa outside of our town where we had many apricot trees. And each summer, I remember how impatiently, I was waiting for these apricots to be ready so I can pick them all and go to the farmer's market where I did actually one of my first sales. And
Okay.
it was like I was 12, 13, 14 years old, something like
Yeah.
that. And when I got my first money, and my parents actually, they allowed me to do that, like because we didn't keep it for ourselves, but I went to the market and I sold them all. So it was like, it was like the very first business
Yeah.
pranks. Yeah, when I did.
Did you have any specials, like any promotions that you recall doing?
With the apricots, no. Actually, what I did is like I didn't sell it myself. Like I didn't have a stand, but I
Okay.
went to many other stands with people that were selling different stuff, but apricots that didn't have apricots. So I
Okay.
offered them, okay, you can expand your portfolio of products. So
You were the wholesaler. Okay.
have my apricots. Yeah, there were so many that I couldn't stay just like to sell them all day long. And I
Okay.
needed to sell them fast because they're not stable. Like you have to sell it within a couple of days,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they don't get. Yeah, so that's interesting thing that I remember. The other thing is like I had super calm and easy childhood with great family, great parents, great friends and surroundings, and of course it shaped what I am now.
All right, all right. Yeah, my wife loves apricots. She'll buy a lot of them, but no one in the house, including my kids, none of us like them except her. So it's like, why do you buy so many? Because you're the only one who's going to eat all of them. It's like, why don't you
Yeah,
buy some peaches? Things that we like, and she'll come home with apricots.
it's very popular over here in Bulgaria to have apricots, and not only to eat them as a fruit, but to have this special type of drinks like the rakia, which is like the hard stuff. Like it's a liquor, but very strong one that
Okay,
they're making out of different fruits, and apricot is one of the fruits that are really used
all
for
right,
that. Yeah.
all right. Now you said you were near the border, near the Danube. Was it near the Danube River?
Hmm. Exactly.
Did you ever go across that river as a kid or when you were younger just to go across the border and hang out in Romania?
Actually, I did that after the EU came, like the Union. It was in 2007, the first time
Okay.
that I went there, because then after we all get Bulgaria and Romania into the European Union, it was very popular, like to go across the border. So many Bulgarian and especially guys from Russia were going there. It's just a bridge where you just show your ID and you go on the other side of the bridge. And before that, it was not that easy. Like before 2007, you had to have some special passports and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's why we didn't hang out that much. But after we have this, like the border was open in 2007, there are many people traveling, and actually the business between Bulgaria and Romania start moving. Like it was an exchange for manpower. It was exchange of business ideas. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's very good that there is a collaboration between our two countries.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to see when there's a good trading partners right on the other side of the border. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, we are working very much personally. Myself and Escrel, my company, is working with Romanian companies as well.
Okay. All right. Next question for you. As a kid, did you know who you wanted to be when you were growing up, or did you know that you were going to create your own company? Yasin.
Yes and no. First, I wanted to be a pilot, like very
Mhm.
much. Every time that we came to Sofia that back then, my first like willing was to go to the airport and to watch for the airplanes and to watch the pilots that were coming outside of the airport. And I was imagining myself like to be one of them, but it didn't go through that because I'm very tall, like I'm almost 2 meters. So that was the first stoppage. But still, yeah, I wanted to, as I told you with the apricots, maybe since my young ages, I wanted to have something own, like to not to rely on somebody else, but to develop the whole thing by myself and by my partners, maybe my friends then. So yes, I think that even throughout the childhood, what I'm always saying is that each of us has been born as an entrepreneur, but some of us has developed this throughout the years and some of them didn't. Because when I look at my girl now, I have a girl, she's 6, and during her growing, I see that even she's 5 or 6, she can achieve what she wants. Like this is like the it doesn't matter what type of instruments she's using, either crying or screaming or whatever. At the end, she's trying to get what she wants, and this is like the main thing that each entrepreneur is doing. Like he's getting what he wants. So that's
Yeah.
why I always say that we are born like that and we need just to develop it throughout the years.
Yeah, yeah. I know my daughter. Her tactic for trying to get what she wants is laying on the floor and kicking and screaming and crying.
Wow.
She's 2.
Yeah, the younger they are, the stronger instrument they use.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
The stronger tactics they apply.
Yeah, absolutely. There.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Yasin, what was your early career path like? And do you have any memorable or even embarrassing experiences early in your career?
So after I left Ruse, my hometown, I went for my studies in Varna, which is the biggest city on the seaside.
Hmm.
And there I was in the economic university and I was studying like international business and entrepreneurship. And interesting thing over there was that my job back then was a driver. I was so keen in driving cars, and I found the perfect job for me, which was a rent a car driver. And all the cars there were brand new. So brand new Mercedeses, brand new BMWs, everything. Like it was super, super nice to have that job. And I was driving cars like all, all year long, not only the summer. Especially in the summer, it was like the busiest period. But I had this job for 2 years. And interesting over there was that one of my last customers, actually, because we had this also driving services, like not only to rent a car, but to rent a car together with a driver. And we had a special client coming from Austria, which turned to be my future boss and my future mentor. Like he helped me through a lot. And that was the owner of a huge international company, like Austrian family company, dealing with all type of wooden material, and like everything made out of wood for furniture, for constructions. They had warehouses in 14 countries in Europe, and they wanted to open a new one in Bulgaria as well. So they landed in Varna, and we had a tour for 5 days together. I showed them around, like they had some spots where they needed to buy.
Uh-huh.
And the last day, like it was 5 days trip. On the last day, he said, "Okay, join us on the table, like be our guest and with our last lunch." And we had a chat for a couple of hours about myself. But until then, nothing. Like we didn't speak at all. These 5 days, I was just a driver. And then when I sat next to him, we had a chat for many hours. And at the end of this talk, he invited me to come with them back to Vienna, to Austria, where I was an intern for 1 year. And 1 year later, they dropped me back to Bulgaria, to Sofia, where we created like the branch, the Bulgarian branch, and I was head of that. And yeah, that was like super, super important for my career path and for my developing, because like I saw from first place, from first sight, how one international business is growing by developing the new branch. And all that we did together with Matan was that really I had him like my very close friend, who helped me in a way. The time when people are graduating, they even don't know what to do. And it
Yeah.
was the same with myself. Like I said, okay, I don't want to be a guy that doesn't know what to do after the graduation. So what I wanted to achieve is to go somewhere abroad, to have some training or something, and then to come back with all the ideas and all the knowledgement that I can get abroad and develop it here in Bulgaria. And this is exactly what happened, actually, because the more you want something, the more faster it comes to you. And it happened like that. The things where you just imagine it very hard, very, very strong and very deeply. And then one day they suddenly happen, and you have to know that it's not on coincidence, but it's just, you brought it to yourself.
Yes, and this is a fairy tale type story.
It is.
I have to tell you, I haven't heard a story like this ever since I started interviewing startup founders. So, a few questions for you. As you're telling me the story, the first thing I thought of is, do you think there was something you did and how you conducted yourself first to get invited to the table? And then, second, during that conversation, do you think there was something that impressed him or convinced him to take a chance on you, to be invited to go to Vienna and be an intern for 1 year? When you look back on those experiences, was there something that caught his eye?
I have thought, and we have spoken with him about that. And what he said was that, like, I did my regular job. I was staying in the car while they had their meetings. I was super, super, super friendly with them, like super punctual. Like every time you have to be on the right time, on the right place. You have to be like very, very gentle with the whole. There were 6 people. Like we had a minivan and we were riding around. So they were a huge delegation, 6 or 7 people, I don't remember. And he said exactly that the friendshipness, or I don't know how to say exactly, like not a regular driver that is like staying set and okay, this is my another boring day here driving around, but right the opposite. I was speaking to one of the guys in the company. I was asking questions, what are they doing, and then maybe this like it's a combination of not only thing, but it's a matter of how you react with people. Like it's just a personal touch, and I did that like throughout the years. It doesn't matter whether it's a partner or client or an employee or a boss or whoever. Like it's always the same. I try to be friends and to be friends with them and to be like somebody that they can trust, and they really can have can give them the opportunity to develop themselves, as it was with Jonathan back then.
Okay. Okay. Now you were with this company for a number of years, and what were some of the key things that you felt like, hey, I'm really good at this particular part of the business? Was it like finance? Was it sales? As you're running the show in Bulgaria for this international company, what are you good at? Did you discover something that, hey, I'm really good at this?
Yeah, the how you say, exactly like I answered before, the communication with the people in the company. Like I don't want to say that I was a good manager, because maybe the people should say that, but from what I've seen when I left the company, like all the goodbyes and cryings and everything that I get from my guys over there, I really try to be good in that. Like I'm always a sales type of guy. Like this is my strongest power, I think. But the sales is not more than communication and not more than just the relationship with the other part. So maybe that's the thing that I can say that I'm strongest in.
Okay. Okay. Now, what were some aha moments while you were working at this company as it relates to furniture and eventually starting your own business?
Many aha moments. Actually, during my job over there, I had another project. We were installing deck systems like around pools and everything. And I thought to myself, okay, I have the decking, I have the clients. What I'm missing is only the installation teams. So back then I did a company that it was doing the installation of decking systems. So that was one of the aha moments. And another thing is like, I always wanted to, it was like very easy for me to work there because I had all the privileges and all everything, like very, very well positioned job, like with salary, good salary, with in company cars and everything. Like, but I didn't feel 100% fulfilled from that. Like I wanted not only to be the manager, but to be the strategist, to be the guy that is like developing the whole thing and see how the impact is coming after you created your own thing. That's why maybe I was always trying to combine my like full-time job with my some types of a side project. And in 2013 was the biggest aha moment when I was selected together with another 30 people from Bulgaria to go to an MBA program in the States. And I said that this will be the milestone which shows me that I need to quit, and that after I came back from the States in 2014, the beginning, then I quit, and then I tried to expand with Escreo and with my brand.
Okay. Which MBA program was this, and where was it at?
It was like not the regular MBA program. It was a program called Summer Entrepreneurship Program, which was targeting the Bulgarian students. And as you can imagine, I was not a student over there, but then applied for another master degree here in Sofia in one private university, just to have this statement that I am a student. So together with this statement, I covered all the exams and essays and TOEFL and whatever, like many different stages was the whole competition. And then finally we had this 5 week staying in New York, Boston, and San Francisco and Palo Alto. where we had like it was amazing, man. It was like one really one time is one what was it was once you have this in your life, it's life changing. Like
Yeah.
in my eyes, because we had the chance to meet founders and executives of like you name it, Dropbox, Google, and at Babson University, like we had our studies, which is number one university for entrepreneurship in the States still. And the idea there was those 30 people to divide themselves into 6 teams of 5 people each. And for the 5 weeks to develop first the team, then to develop the idea inside the team, and then the whole business model and feasibility analysis and financial analysis and everything. And then at the end, on week 5, to present it in front of the real VC partners in Palo Alto, which is like the my first touch with investors and venture capital at all. So it was mind blowing, really. Then I saw Tesla for first time. It was the car, the Tesla car was just invented like in 2012. And then in 2013, I already was riding next to my investor. So it was really mind blowing event. And after I came back, actually over there, I met my co-founders. And after we came back to Bulgaria, I gathered them together and then we started this Skrill.
Okay. Was Skrill form, was the idea formed during this program? Was that the idea that you and your teammates came up with, or was it a separate idea afterwards?
No, it was like first we created the team and then we created the idea. And interesting thing is that we were not together in the same team. I mean, during our studies in the States with my co-founders. But the good thing over there is that we were living together in either in a hotel or in executive MBA places. And during this staying together, I could feel that these guys are like my type of blood. And then I decided after we came back to Bulgaria that I'll call Iskren, who was like one of the 2 co-founders. Then we sat together with him and we said, okay, let's invite and Elena too, which is like another super girl, and 3 of us, we started like thinking, okay, we have the knowledge. Now let's do the startup. And it was not Skrill, the first thing that we thought about. It was like, what was it? It was more social entrepreneurship. Like we wanted to help the Bulgarian trams, because in Sofia we have many trams that are stopping just right in the middle of the street, and people are going from the pavement to the
tram. You see a lot of that here in Bucharest too. Yeah.
And there were no signals at all. Like a tram is just stopping and then doors are opening, and it's great.
Yeah, it's like that here.
And it was a super simple idea that we want to put just a sign, bus sign, like in the States. You remember where the school buses have this stop sign?
Yeah.
It's super simple idea. And then we went to the mayor, to the head of the transport, to the head of whatever. And we hit so many rocks. And we said, okay, social entrepreneurship in Bulgaria, it will be hard. let's try something profitable.
Okay.
Then back then I remembered about the place in Boston. It was in Boston, I think, where we were in a huge accelerator called Mass Challenge, and they had like walls covered with markers everywhere. Was the written walls. And initially I thought to myself, okay, the Americans are going mad and they're just writing on the walls. But then I realized that it's some special type of coverage that allows you to erase these markers.
Yeah.
And then I remembered about this product. I said that maybe that will be great to have this type of things here in not only Bulgaria, but this part of Europe. And Elena, my co-founders, were also happy with the idea. And then this is how we started actually digging into Skrill.
Okay.
And it was 1 year or something until we found out Mano, who was our 4th co-founder, who is actually the guy with the chemistry and with the formulas.
Okay.
And 4 of us, we created really amazing team, which we presented in front of investors. but it was tough. It was really tough. Like 1 year and more than 1 year after we came back from Bulgaria, we had nothing. Like we were just investing our money and time,
Yeah.
and it pays off. Yeah.
So tell me about your first investor. What was that experience like? And when did it happen? How many months or years after you guys actually started working on Escrail?
Yeah, it started like since day one, actually. We didn't have any product when we went to our investors. They are called 11, like the most amazing venture capitalists in Bulgaria, for sure. Like 11 is one of the first funds that were created in 2010 or something like that. And back then in 2010, 13, it was very, very like it was booming, the whole ecosystem. The first startups appeared. And then we were in this ecosystem as well without being a startup. What was the good thing is that we knew a guy that was working for this venture fund that introduced us without having anything. Like we didn't have the paint, we didn't have just the idea and the team. And they said, okay, guys, you're very nice. You look smart enough, but you don't have anything because we said we want to find this paint somewhere abroad.
Yeah.
Bring it here and just to sell it.
Yeah.
They said you need to have something like intellectual property inside the team. So you need to find somebody that wants to make this paint, to produce it yourselves. And that's why we found, okay, then we start searching for Mano, who we found 1 year later. But yeah, we started even before we had a product to speak to them. And they said many times that our persistence, because we've met them like one and the same team, one and the same investor for maybe 4 or 5 meetings before we had like the initial talks about investment. You were super, okay, I want to come to your webinars, not webinars, but back then it was seminars. We want to be like super persistent. And yeah, this is how we started with them. Like we started speaking in 2014 and we had the investment in April 2015. So 1 year. Yeah.
Okay. Was it hard convincing Mano to join the team and buy into the vision?
We were lucky because Mano is a guy that was really experienced. He had more than 20 years in paint production, but he was in this time of his development where he was doing like each and every day the same paints, like for many, many, many years. And he was so bored and he just wanted to have something new. And it was like right time, right moment, right place, right time, because we were in a position where we needed somebody that knows how to do it, which is not easy to find. So something like that. Yeah. And then he was in a position where he was really bored of what he's doing and he wanted to get some new challenges in front of him. So it was very, very nice to get together with him. But as I said, it was 1 year of struggling and speaking to many like him. Like he was not the first, of course, that we spoke to, but none of them either wanted or could make it. But he had this like these two strong positions where he made it and he wanted to be part of the team. And yeah, already seven years on the market.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what inspired the name of Escrail?
It was different before. When we started, we said, okay, we are Bulgarians. We will have Bulgarian name. But you know that the Bulgarian language is like nothing in common with any other language in Europe. And it was called Volshebna Buya, which means water saint. And the domain name was also super unusual. So we decided, okay, from Volshebna Buya, we are going to Wonder Saint. So first it was Wonder Paint.
Okay.
But then we decided that we don't want to keep paint in the name because we tried to fight against that feeling that we are a paint because yes, it is a paint, but with special functionality, right? So when you say it's a paint, everybody is comparing it to another regular paint, and we didn't want that. So we removed the paint, and then we said, okay, we're going to. It was huge brainstorming. I remember for many days, but at the end of the day, Escrail means you create from Latin.
Okay.
And this is exactly what you do with our product. You create on your walls.
Awesome. Awesome. Is Escreo focused specifically in large companies and the businesses of large companies or schools or any other sort of institutions? Like what's your primary focus?
It it is like as you imagine, it is applicable in any of these institutions. It's super useful at home, super useful at school, university. But what we found out is like the lowest hanging fruits are the office buildings and their tenants, because back then in 2015 it was not co-working spaces but the office buildings, and this many international companies and really massive structures like SAP, HP, Ingram Micro, they were coming to Sofia and they were renting huge offices. And the good thing back then was that we were exactly on the right place, because our product became very, very fast, very trendy. Like it's one small market with not that many buildings. We covered most of them. So it became really like a trend. And then we said, okay, we covered the buildings here. Let's go to Romania, because that was the closest market.
Yeah.
So in 2016, we were already in the Romanian market as well.
Okay. All right. Now, what's next for you personally, Yasin?
For me personally, like I want to develop to the place where it's almost automatic business. Like we are already almost there, because I have great team and all of them is already a position where they all know what they are doing and how to grow the business. So what I observe now is that my presence here, it's important, of course, but what I try to do is to delegate as much as possible. And then I'm trying to focus more on the strategy and on the next big things like new products, new markets, new businesses.
Okay. Are there any trends that you're seeing when it comes to office furniture that will continue to gain traction over the next few years?
Yes. And interesting thing about what I'm interested in is not that much about the office furniture itself, but about the sustainability right now.
Okay.
We developed a product that is called the Escreo Clean Air, which is a paint that purifies the air in the room and that is absorbing CO2 from the air, which is like really revolution. And what we are trying now to, because
wait, Yasin.
Yeah.
Repeat that one more time, because I wasn't clear. You have this beautiful video on the website, and it's a picture of this guy. He closes his laptop. He goes to the whiteboard. The whiteboard falls down. He writes the word CO2, and then he crosses a line through that. And I thought, this is an interesting video, but I didn't quite get it. Can you explain one more time exactly what this product does?
Yeah, actually, that video has another story behind it, but I will not get into that. We became carbon neutral company last year. That means that we have offsetted all our carbon emissions that we did, either from producing the pen, delivery the pen, and all employees and all team that has been. Each of us is producing carbon footprint, right? So last year we decided that we are going to be the first carbon neutral whiteboard paint company, and we offset all our carbon emissions. And that's why we created this video to say that we are already carbon negative, carbon neutral.
Gotcha. Okay.
But while we were doing that, we decided, okay, let's find a product that helps you to go carbon neutral without even having this offset thing. And then we thought of a paint that after you apply this paint, it starts absorbing the CO2 from the air. Not only the CO2, but all harmful gases that are in the air. And this is how we are going to go not only carbon neutral, but carbon negative, because we are already carbon neutral. And once we have this product running, like many office buildings, maybe, or another commercial buildings to be painted with that, and then we are going to get to the carbon negativity even.
That's exciting. That is really awesome, Yasin. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Okay. Is there a book or article or podcast, something that you've read that has impacted how you think and run your business, Yasin?
Phew, many of them, but most powerful and inciting was How to Influence and Influence the Others.
Dale
That's
Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not about the business strategy that much, but it's about the, as I said in the beginning, about the communication with the others and about your behavior among the others.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to achieve the success just by myself, and I never put myself like the guy that brought this success, but it's my team. It's always like that.
Yeah.
And this is the book really that I could read many times.
Yeah. No, it's on my shelf. I've probably looked at it many, many times and looked at the notes that I've written. It should be a foundation for anybody, regardless if you're an entrepreneur or not. Okay. Now for some fun questions, just so that we can get to know your personality a little bit. Yassine, does corn belong on pizza?
Yeah. Why not? Especially in the flour. I love corn flour.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Next question for you. What is a favorite TV show that you can watch again and again?
Well, to be honest, I don't watch TVs. And a TV show, you mean like these night shows or like
It could
TV
be
series?
it could
Yeah.
be a series like on Netflix or HBO or Disney or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the, how to say, not to be interested into something particular, but to be interested in good movies. Like the inspirational movies is something that I really love. Soon I watched this Elvis movie about Elvis.
I've heard that was
You saw-
good.
You see?
Yeah. I
It
haven't
was
yet.
good. It was good. My favorite actor was there, Tom Hanks, and
Yeah.
interesting. I try to be in the shoes of this very huge guys, Elvis, and before it was the Freddie Mercury, the Rhapsody. It was amazing movies, and this is inspiring actually, not a specific TV show.
Okay. Yeah, I have to watch it. Last question for you, Yassine. What is the most death-defying act you've ever done?
Death defying. I was bungee jumping. It
Okay.
was not death defying. And I'm like this type of person where I really I'm excited about everything that is fast. I'm snowboarding fast. I I was jumping. I was like riding. What is it? These fast bikes, not the choppers, but the one that you're driving on the pists only.
Yeah.
And yeah, this experiences bring me to life. But when I got my wife, I sold everything. Like I have just a car now, and I keep on snowboarding, which is during the winter times. But I love also in the summer. And this was the another summer that I couldn't surf, and I want to teach to learn surfing, which
Yeah.
is something that I will do the whole summer maybe.
Cool. Well, I want to learn snowboarding. I'm going to try that this January and do it with my son. So hopefully
Maybe
we can.
in Bulgaria, maybe.
Well, we'll probably start here in Romania, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I learned in 2016. It was already 5-6 years. That is going to be the. Oh no, it was in 2010 actually when I started snowboarding. So 12 years already on the piste. Welcome. I will bring you. I'll bring you some off-road trips.
All right. Well, okay. I'll remember that. All right.
Yeah.
Yassine, thank you so much for being on Innovators Can Laugh. This has been a pleasure for everybody listening. Yeah. No, for everybody listening, I'm going to put the links to Escreo and Yassine's LinkedIn profile in the show notes. Stay tuned next week. We're going to have Stoyan Yankov on the show. He is a productivity and performance consultant for startups and corporate teams. And for everybody listening, keep hustling out there. Feel free to share the episode. And if you can, feel free to give us a review. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you could give us a review and star rating. Also, don't forget to sign up for the ICO newsletter at innovatorscanlaugh.com, where you can get the bio and details of each guest. Thanks.